welcome back to On the Volley, or as we like to be known, OTV. My name's Matt. I'm here doing this podcast on my own tonight, reacting to what's been reported in the news tonight about Man City signing Jack Grealish for 100 million. I came out earlier on this month, last month, later on last month, saying I didn't think that was the price that we're going to pay for Grealish. It turns out that I was wrong, and they have stumped up the cash for 100 million. It's a lot of money for a very good player, don't get me wrong, but 100 million is way above what City have paid in the past. It's 35 million more than they paid for Ruben Diaz, for example, and 40 million more than they paid for De Bruyne. So it's a big step up for City in terms of the cash they're paying for one individual. He's let's talk about Grealish a little bit. Obviously an exceptional player. I think definitely this sort of the player that England fans wanted to see play in throughout the summer. He didn't get that much of a chance, to be honest, in that England team, and maybe that's kind of motivated him a little bit to leave Villa in terms of the fact that he'll be playing obviously Champions League football next year, and hopefully competing for competition on many fronts. Where does he fit into City's team is going to be quite a tricky question to answer, I think. Obviously, he plays a little bit in a similar position to Foden, also where Foden and Sterling sort of like compete a little bit at City for that position on the left. He can play more central, and we've seen him play some of his best games centrally for England and also for Villa. So I think he'll probably fit in. He's going to wear the number 10 shirt, but he'll probably fit in sort of like as a backup to who's City's only striker left, recognised striker left at the club, who probably will end up playing the false nine as he did last season. It's gonna be a little bit of a rearrangement of the attacking talent at the club. But if in all honesty, he's come in. With City have lost David Silva and Sergio Aguero in the last couple of seasons. He is kind of filling a little bit of the David Silva role. I think Phil Foden was mainly groomed to do that, but he's kind of drifted out a bit more to the left, and that's where we're seeing him play his best football. He can also play on the right, which he did do for England during the Euros. So it's looking, he's kind of going in maybe to drop in to that vacancy that's been left by David Silva, and with obviously Aguero not playing and didn't play very much last season, City are tending to play this more false nine role. So a great bit of business in a way for Villa. 100 million for a player is always going to give you the funds then to make moves in the transfer market. I noticed that Bailey came in from Leverkusen just before this, and so it was, I think they're maybe spending a little bit of the cash that they were already expecting from the transfer of Grealish. And today I've seen that they've also signed Danny Ings. I think that's on a free, because I seem to remember Danny Ings was on a free transfer in this window. Two decent signings for Villa. Bailey's been rated for a good number of seasons now, playing in the Bundesliga, and Ings, apart from his bad injury that he had when he was playing at Liverpool, I think he's a striker who can put himself about a bit. He gets himself into the right positions and scores goals. He's two decent signings for Villa. And then moving on from that, then we've also seen, talking about a number 10s here, that Lionel Messi is due to leave Barcelona. Now, every year since basically Pep Guardiola's been at Man City, there has been a link with Messi going to Man City. Usually used just basically for his contract negotiations. This time round, it's absolutely reversed, because basically he negotiated to take a pay cut to help him stay at Barcelona. But that they haven't sold any significant enough about players basically to keep his wages even at that level, in terms of their financial structure of the club. So it looks like he'll be on his way. It always looks like Lionel Messi's on his way, but this time it's more to do with the club not being able to essentially afford his wages. So it's much more likely he's going at 34 years old. I don't think he's going to City. I just don't think. I think after we just spent 100 million on a player who basically, as I said, is pretty much going to play in that role that Messi plays for Barcelona. I just can't see. I can't see him also bringing in Messi as well this summer. So it looks like probably Paris Saint-Germain. They look like the most likely candidate to sign Messi. I think he's still got a little bit too much left in him to go to the United States and play there. I mean, that's kind of like something he'll probably do in a couple of years' time, towards the end of his career. Last big payday, but also I think it's sort of like it increases his fame, his own brand basically in the United States if he does end up playing there eventually. But yeah, I think it's more likely Paris Saint-Germain. And still the rumours go on about Harry Kane. Harry Kane obviously is being linked again with Man City. They're talking about 160 million. I believe City have put in a bid for 120 million. They're 40 million shy of what Tottenham are asking. How this fits in with sustainability and the finances, I'm not sure. They've raised some money recently, but that's enough for basically Grealish's transfer. They've obviously done well in the Champions League last year. They did well by winning the Premier League, so they've got some cash from that as well. New sponsorship deals coming up as well, so it's possible. I mean, it's possible. I'm almost, after I said both Kane and Grealish weren't likely to come to City this summer for that amount of money. You can't write anything off at the moment, and so Kane is essentially digging his heels in, saying he wants to transfer. He thinks he's got a gentleman's agreement with Daniel Levy, and that Levy's reneging on that. This sounds very similar to what Lionel Messi had last summer when he was trying to force a move out of Barcelona, where there was a gentleman's agreement which wasn't honoured. So Kane, I still think 160 million is way too much for one player, but this is where the transfers are going at the moment. We've seen big sums handed out for Neymar, Mbappe, João Felix, in the past. So this is what the top players demand in terms of transfer fees. Where would fit in at City? Well, quite obviously where he plays. I mean, that's where we're lacking. We lost Sergio Aguero. Jesus doesn't really play that sort of like out and out striker role. Although Harry Kane does also drop as well. But he's much more effective in front of goal, or certainly prolific in front of goal than Jesus. So yeah, I mean, let's keep an eye on it. But 160 million is just a bit too steep for me. But it's not my money, and these people can afford it who own City. Okay, so that's basically all I had to talk to about. It's obviously about City have broken the British transfer record, and there's still going to be a lot of rumours flying around this next week, certainly regarding Messi and Kane. So I'll speak to you all very soon. That's me out.